welcome back. This is the Crown Clown, and today is the day we start the second new series that I'll be starting up on this channel, and that is What If Deku Was the Son of Zeus? So, for this What If, basically, Deku does not know his dad whatsoever. The Greek gods are in the My Hero universe, but not all of them are still around. It's been centuries since anyone has even praised the gods, and basically, so how Deku is born is Zeus is down there, mingling amongst the humans, and he runs across Anko, and he says, he's looking at her like, damn, she's pretty freaking hot. And, since nobody really knows what Zeus would even look like, he's not even hiding, he's just keeping his true form. So he's just like, yo, this girl hot. I want to have sex with her. And, Zeus puts the moves on Anko. So while Zeus is putting the moves on Anko, he's just like, yo. And he's thinking, if I could get her pregnant and a demigod is born amongst the mortals, maybe once again people will start worshiping me. And maybe once again I can build up Olympus. Yeah. So that's what Zeus is thinking while he's putting the moves on Anko. And Anko, she's falling for it. Zeus is very romantic. He meets up with her, he dates her. Zeus is really taking his time because he's in no rush. What's he gonna do? Go back to a broken Olympus? Nah, ain't happening. Not yet, anyway. He knows he is starting to run out of time for being in the mortal realm, because every so often he does have to go back to Olympus to recharge his powers for a long time. So Zeus, he starts putting more pressure on Anko, and she's like, oh, okay, all right, sure, we can have sex. So Zeus, he goes over there to Anko's place. I'm gonna say Anko, she's in her 20s, and Zeus, he's just clapping them cheeks, like, for real. Zeus immediately, as soon as Anko lets him in, he's like, all right, where you want to do this? And Anko's just like, yo, the fuck? Can you chill? And Zeus is like, I gotta leave for work for a while. I'll be back eventually, but it could take a while before, I'm really back. So I'd like to, relieve some stress before I'm gone for a minute. And Uncle's just like, yo, well, if you're gonna be gone for a minute, what happens if I get pregnant? It's just like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Like, he ain't about to drop the ball now. He's this close to having another demigod running around. Zeus ain't dropping the ball. So Uncle says yeah. So Zeus, he goes in there, he lays her on the bed, he basically just strips her. And Uncle, she's just waiting for it. And, Zeus whips it out, and she's just like, the fuck is that? And Zeus is like, what, my dick? She's just like, yeah, what the fuck? And Zeus is like, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you, but this is just like a god. And she's just like, damn, color me impressed. Zeus is just like, yeah, don't worry, you'll be able to feel how a god gets down. And, she just thinks it's Zeus's arrogance, but Zeus is being for real. So Zeus starts giving it to Anko, and she's just like, damn. And, Zeus lays that shit down. He lays it down good. Like, Zeus is 100% certain he knocked her up. Anko can't even think straight, her mind fuzzy. She just shaking on the bed. So Zeus just writes a note, leaves it there, he jets back to Olympus. And, she, like 9 months later, Deku's born. And this Deku is very different. While he does have his green eyes from his mother, he has Zeus's white hair naturally. And Uncle was just like, dang, you kind of look like your father a little bit. And, the doctors are like, the father's last name? She's like, no, I don't. He just said that, his name was Zeus and that was it. And it's like, oh, it must have been a foreigner. She's like, yeah, he was. So, uh, she's just like, just name him Izuku Midoriya. That's my maiden name anyway. That's what I'm going with just for this what if. So Deku's name is still the same. And all growing up, Deku, he's idolizing heroes. But there's a lot of supernatural stuff going around Deku that Anko's just like freaked out about. Because no baby should be strong enough to lift a car. And Deku's doing that casually. And Zeus, he's just watching from up there. He's like looking at Deku and he's just like, Because Deku just hears this voice in his head telling him to do stuff, to try stuff out, which is surprisingly working out. And Zeus is thinking to himself, in terms of strength, raw strength, I know not all demigods get that, but my son seems he got it. But the big test is, does he have my lightning or not? And Zeus is thinking, his hair is already white, it symbolizes him. Normally, none of his sons have had his hair color, so he's thinking Deku could be the one to have his power. And, they go to the quirk doctor and, they diagnose Deku as quirkless. His mother's not so sure. She's just like, no, he's had to have a quirk, He's strong just like his father and everything like that. And, Zeus he's up there watching, he's just like, it might be time to take another trip down there. But before he can, he's stopped. And Poseidon, he's just like, brother, I know you enjoy going down there. And before you go, just know you're not hidden from us. We can see you. And we do know that you done brought another demigod back into the world. And this time, if this dude goes off the rocker, he might be as strong as you. You ever think your own son could be, the reason you die later on? And Zeus, he's just looking at Poseidon and he's just like, brother, I have to test his abilities. And Poseidon says, he's literally 5. You're not going to get no type of near test done that's accurate at 5 years old. If you want to test him, wait until he's at least 15, Zeus. And Zeus is just like, how would you know? And Poseidon's just like, really? I've raised my own fair share of demigods too, I've had kids with mortals. Still, wait till he's 15, because if you go down there now, you're not going to be able to be there for him in the more important stages of his life, which is when he's really going to need you. Anko, she's actually keeping in shape, because she's got an explanation as to why, and you know why Zeus is gone. So she's not really thinking too much about it, and she really ain't stressing. She's come to the terms with the fact that if she never sees him again, she's cool with it. But because she's got Deku, so Anko, she ain't stressing a whole lot. What really pushed her over the edge was finding out Deku was quirkless. But even though she's been told Deku's quirkless, she don't believe that for a minute. She's seen Deku lift a car. Like, she's just like, no, he's just strong. They just wrong. He's got a strength-based quirk, obviously. He's strong like his daddy. That's it. So Uncle, she stays in shape. And Zeus sees that, and he's just like, damn. And Poseidon's like, I might have to go down there and make me a demigod with that. And Zeus just like, really? Really? Yeah. So I was like, all right. But, basically, Deku, he's not really taking shit from Bakugo. And Bakugo sees that Deku is standing up for himself. And, they notice whenever they make Deku mad, there looks to be like his eyes go white for some reason. And it's like electricity is shooting out of his eyes or something. But Deku, he knows better. He can feel it. He can feel the weather in the air. The storm comes whenever he gets angry. And Deku and Bakugo, they actually become friends. They're close, but they're not like brother close, because at the end of the day, Bakugo did try some shit, and Deku, he's petty in this. Like, Deku's pretty petty. He's just not. You're not fucking with somebody fucking with him, then realizing, oh shit, he's strong, let me try and be his friend. Like, Deku, he don't fuck with that shit. So he's just like, we cool, but you ain't ever apologized for what you did, so I'm gonna keep you at arm's length. And Deku, he still has that long hair that he gets, but people, they look at him and they think it's weird for someone like him to have white hair already. And they think it has something to do with his quirk, and they're like, hey, you have like an ice-based quirk or something? Deku's just like, no. I was just born with white hair because apparently my dad had natural white hair. And they're just like, oh, okay, cool. And Deku, he's really smart in this because his mother made sure, like, he's hitting the books. And Deku does that because he wants to make his mom proud, but, at the same time, Deku does get into fights outside of school. Like, some kids that don't like him, they've tried to fight Deku before, gang up on him, and Deku, he's beating them. Like, he's beating motherfuckers. And I'm gonna say that bully group that Bakugo pretty much had in middle school, like, even though Bakugo's cool with Deku, the rest of Bakugo's group don't share that same sentiment. And so, they don't like how Deku doesn't show Bakugo any respect, because they just think Deku's strong. They don't know about everything he can do, and technically neither does Deku. So they follow Deku out, and they take him to an alley, and they're like, hey man, you gonna start showing Bakugo some respect, or we gonna beat you black and blue, leave you lying in a pool of your own blood right here. Deku, he just cracks his neck, cracks his knuckles, and he's like, alright, you guys doing this one-on-one, or all y'all at once? Like, it don't make that much of a difference to me. But, just know that you do have a chance to walk away right now. And we can end it right there. But if y'all come at me, I can't be held responsible for, your injuries. And, they're just like, all right, shut the fuck up. And they all charge at Deku, and Deku's like, I tried to warn you. So he's punching motherfuckers. Like, he punches the dude with, those long, stretchy ass arms. He knocks that motherfucker's teeth right out of his skull. Like, as soon as he hits him, 6 teeth go flying out that dude's mouth. And he's out cold. They're like, yo, the fuck? And Deku's like, in school, I don't try and cause a scene, because that's going to make me look bad, which makes my mom look bad. And y'all ain't making my mom look bad. I don't care. And he's like, right now, what you trying to do? You trying to make my mom sad. I don't play with that. So I'm going to beat all y'all's asses on that principle alone. And Baco, he's looking for his group, and he's just like, yo, what the fuck? And they say, yo, I saw your group leaving with Deku. They went down some alley. And Baco, he's running down there looking through every alley. And he finally sees it. He sees Deku just beating them. The only one left is that, like, tubby, fat kid. And Deku, he's straight up, like, bounces that man off the concrete like a freaking basketball. Baco sees this. He's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? I thought we was good. And, Deku says, look, they came at me for not showing you what they think I'm disrespecting you, and I'm not. I'm just indifferent towards you. But they wanted me to, get down on my knees and just praise you. Nah, that shit ain't happening. And then they threatened my safety. I told them I gave them a chance to walk away. But they chose to fight. That's how they end up. And Baco, he's staring down Deku. He's like, yo, this summer, me and you gonna fight no holds barred. And Deku's like, alright, bet. Because Baco knows, like, he needs time to get stronger and contemplate how to take on Deku the best way possible. So Deku leaves. He goes home. His mother sees the blood on his uniform. She's like, yeah, Izuku, the fuck happened out there? And Deku says he was jumped by some bullies at his school, so he defended himself. He did give them a chance to walk away, and they didn't take it. And Uncle, she's like, don't those kids ever learn? And Uncle is just kind of pissed that she's got to wash the blood out of another uniform. All of a sudden, they hear a knock on the door. Uncle opens up the door, and lo and behold, is Zeus and Poseidon. But Poseidon, I'm going to say Poseidon's got dark brown hair and a very, he's got not a really long beard, but, one of those up close trimmed up beards. Goes around, with the mustache connecting to it. That's what Poseidon basically has. And Poseidon has a man bun, rolled up, wearing a blue shirt, some black pants and some boots. And Zeus, he's just rolling up there, long ass beard, long flowing hair, white shirt, fucking just black jeans and some high tops. And he's just like, hey, sorry I've been gone for so long. I told you I'd be back. And she's just like, Zeus. And she's like, who's this? And Zeus said, oh, this is my brother Poseidon. And, and she's just like, damn, I guess looking good runs in your family. And Poseidon's like, hey, my brother didn't find a bad one either. Like, damn, I'm surprised he got so lucky. And she's just like, oh, me and Zeus ain't together. We had a kid together, but me and Zeus ain't together. So if you trying to do something, let me know. But why don't you both come in? And Zeus is hearing that. He's just like, yo, after what I did to her, she's saying we ain't together. Oh, hell no. And Poseidon pushes Zeus over there. He's like, yo, go see your kid. Don't worry, I'll handle shit down here. And Poseidon's just thinking it's going to be his turn, but Uncle's just like, hey, I'm my mother now. You're going to show me some respect. And Poseidon's like, oh, shit. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. But Deku comes down. He's like, hey, Mom, what's going on? And he sees man with long white hair and a beard. He's like, are you my dad? And Zeus is like, yeah, I'm your dad. And Deku's like, cool. So, what's your name, Dad? I mean, kind of weird, Where have you been all my life? You just dropping by now? And he says, oh, well, my name is Zeus. I've been out of the country on business. There was a lot of stuff I had to do. It's been a long job, but, I took, I saved up a lot of money. So, I'll be able to take it off for a few years and then go back later. And, Poseidon's just like, yeah, I was working with them. So, I'm your uncle. My name is Poseidon. So, what is your name, nephew? And Deku's like, Izuku Midoriya. My mom named me that. And he's just like, yo, that's a good name. And, Deku's like, so, I know I'm Japanese, but what's the other half of me? And Zeus says, Greek. Deku's like, I'm Japanese and Greek? And Zeus like, yeah. What's so hard to believe about that? I'm a Greek man. We're Greek men. And, he's like, yeah, I guess my mom has a type for Greek men, apparently. He's looking at his mom, and his mom's like, yo, I didn't know. I just knew they weren't Japanese. And Zeus just laughs, and he's like, don't worry about it. But more importantly, have you developed any powers at all? Any form of super strength or, any lightning powers? And Deku's just like, wait, you're saying I could have lightning powers? I mean, I'm strong. I'm real strong. I can lift a car by myself. And, Zeus is like, oh, really? Okay, well, that's good. You got my strength. You got my strength. But, did you get my lightning? And Deku's just like, well, I hope so. I hope I got your lightning. And Zeus is like, well, we can find out over the course of the next couple months. I can train you to harness your powers and see what all you're capable of. And Poseidon says, yeah, I'll help too. And, Deku's like, wait, you two have the same power? And Poseidon's like, oh, no. No. We have some similarities, but a lot of differences as well. And Deku's like, okay, well, if Dad's lightning. What are you, Unc? And Poseidon's like, I have mastery over the water. And, Deku's just like, oh, you have a water quirk. And Poseidon's just like, the fuck's a quirk? And Zeus just nudges Poseidon, and Poseidon's like, "Oh yeah, a quirk. That's what you guys call it. Back in Greece, we just call it masteries." And they're like, okay, I guess. And he's like, "So did your parents name you guys after the Greek gods, or what?" And Poseidon's just like, "No, not really, no." And he has, well, what's your dad's name? And they both just say Kronos. And it's like, all right, let me cut to the chase here. My boy, I am the god Zeus. Like, my brother, your uncle, is the god Poseidon. And Deku's like, oh, shit. That actually makes sense because you do look a lot like your statues. Uncle can't believe that she had a one night stand with a god. And Deku, he's just like, oh, does that make me a demigod? I'm a demigod. And Zeus is like, yeah, you're a demigod. And he's just like, is the whole Greek pantheon still around? Or, is Hera gonna try and kill me now? And Zeus tells him, no, Hera's been dead for quite some time, actually. And, Zeus is like, don't worry about it, and just know not all of Greek pantheons around, but, you're safe. You're safe, son. And so, but Zeus is just like, look, I'm gonna be for real with you. I'm about to put you through the most hell-inducing months of your life. And you're gonna have to fight me and my brother Poseidon here. We are going to determine the full capabilities of your strengths and what you can do. And you're going to be put through hell for us to figure this out. He's like, the reason I wasn't there with you is because I have to return to Mount Olympus to resupply my powers. You, however, won't have that problem, even if you do have all my powers, which not 100% certain of, but still, you won't have that problem. At the same time, you won't have my invulnerability. Obviously, you know that you can still get hurt, you still bleed. Don't forget, like, just because you're half God doesn't mean that someone down here could not kill you, because you still bleed like a human. But the whole reason I even had you was so that way you could help me and the rest of the Pantheon become relevant again. Give us our original power back, because we're weaker. That doesn't mean you'll be weak. Your powers could still grow. Like, even if they manifest out weakly, like pretty weak, they can still grow and enhance. The more you use them and the stronger you get as an individual, you can still grow your powers out like that. So, don't worry too much. But as soon as you finish school, it's hell training. And Deku's just like, oh shit, okay. He's like, well, after school, I'll have 10 months. And Zeus is like, almost a year? We're going to have almost a year to train you? Oh, say no more. Say no more. I can give you this. All right. Tell me the day school ends. Deku tells him, and Zeus is like, all right, I'll be back for you that day. And from that day forward 10 months, you are going to be mine at Olympus training. But until then, work out your body. Try and build up some muscle. You're going to need it. And Zeus, he goes to leave, and he knows Poseidon's not really coming with him. Poseidon's like, hey, I told you. My turn to stay down here for a bit. Go on ahead up. I'll stick around with my nephew. Keep an eye on him. And, Poseidon's, he's really just trying to get with Anko. Like, that's really it. And, Anko actually does like how Poseidon is more of a gentleman, but he's still assertive than Zeus. And so, Anko does try to, flirt around with Poseidon, and Deku notices that, and he's just like, my mom's gonna marry my uncle. And when he says that, Zeus is just like, what the fuck? Poseidon's like, yo, it ain't even like that. I'm just gonna, train him a bit down here first. Which that is true. So after Zeus leaves, Poseidon has dinner with Deku and, Anko, and Poseidon actually focuses in on Deku. He's wanting to get to know Deku, what he does, how his personality is. And he realizes Deku is a lot like Zeus. And Poseidon's like, oh, no, dear nephew, no. I need to humble you. You need to be humbled. And Deku's like, what do you mean? He's like, you're too overconfident. All right. You're exactly as overconfident as your father. Your father might be the king of gods, but don't let that fool you. He's got his ass kicked several times by me. All because your father got overconfident. Zeus got overconfident as hell. And I kicked his ass once. Not just once. But, several times. Me and your father would fight together and against each other for sport and just for training. So we got pretty good at it. And Deku's just like, could you teach me how to fight properly? And Poseidon's like, dear nephew of mine, that would be my greatest pleasure. So Deku, he starts spending a lot more time with Poseidon. Deku, he starts styling his hair after Poseidon, because to him, his uncle is a fucking badass. Like, he's teaching Deku the proper way how to throw a punch, how to block, guard, parry, all that shit, like grapple. And Deku, he is slowly starting to get an understanding of where his power comes from and how to kind of summon it. And, one day, him and Poseidon, they're out there just fighting, sparring, like, they have the gloves on, the headgear, so people know it's just a sparring match between an uncle and his nephew. And Deku, he's put on a lot of muscle mass. Like, if Deku was, like, scrawny, I must say, he was scrawny, but, because Deku, he still has, like, 6 months of school left when Zeus left, and him and Poseidon have been training together for 3 months at this point. So Deku's put on quite a bit of muscle definition. and is really getting to the point where he can control his strength, how much he outputs, a lot better than what he used to be able to. And so Deku, he's fighting with Poseidon. Poseidon, he's really just like focusing in on Deku's movements, and every time Deku goes for a hit, Poseidon would block it and then counter and show where he drops his guard when he swings, how much of wasted movements are in which ones. I want to say Bakugo, he's out with his cronies and they see Deku fighting this guy, and Bakugo's just like, yo, Midoriya, who the fuck is this pansy with that fucking man bun? Poseidon just looks at Deku, he's like, did he just insult my hair? And did he just call me a pansy? And Deku, he's just laughing his ass off. He's like, you really just pissed off my uncle. Wow. My uncle's stronger than me. And I dismantled y'all 3 months ago. You really trying to make my uncle mad out here. That's crazy. Could not be me. Could not be me. Yeah, so he walks over to Bakugo and he's like, look, I can tell you're a very prideful person. So, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is for your own good, kid. Walk away. If you want to fight him, you can fight him, just compete with him to get into his choice of a high school. He's wanting to go to UA. I'm making that possible. I'm training my nephew. So why don't you, go train with however many people you want. It's not going to matter. I'm going to train my nephew so good, he'll be able to take on 100 people at once. But if you really want to try and fight him, wait till the entrance exam time. Wait till then. And I guarantee you, he will absolutely wreck y'all. Because as soon as summer, rolls around for that 10-month grace period you guys got, he's coming back home to, my hometown to train with his father and me. And, Baku's just like, yo, I bet his dad's a loser too. And when he says that, lightning strikes right next to Bakugo. And Bakugo's just like, the hell is that? And Poseidon just snickers and he's just like, well, Zeus, I see you're watching and listening. And Deku, he's like, yo, that was me. Bakugo's just like, yeah, there ain't no fucking way. And Deku's like, yeah, I have a lightning-based quirk. Like, my power is I control lightning. And, Bakugo, he's just like, alright, prove it. Strike the same spot again. Zeus strikes the same spot again as soon as Deku does the hand motion. And Bakugo actually starts believing Deku. All because Zeus is playing along with it. Like, Deku, his life is actually pretty good in this what if. Like, Deku, he's not gonna really have that much of a hard life. Except for in the next part. But, Bakugo, they take Poseidon's words and they say, alright, entrance exam. I got you. So, Deku, he continues trading with Poseidon all throughout the rest of the remaining 3 months. And it's, last day of school, teacher, he comes in saying, alright, so Time for you guys to fill out these forms. Just kidding, you all want to be heroes. Who wouldn't? And he's like, we got two people going to UA, applying for it. That is, Katsuki Bakugo and Izukumi Doria. And the teacher's like, Midoriya, are you sure you want to go to UA? It says here you're quirkless. And, Deku, he just says, nah, I ain't quirkless. But they just didn't do the right paperwork. Like, if you want, you can file for, to get it changed. I've been meaning to ask, like, how to get that changed, because I have a lightning-based quirk. I have, lightning powers and super strength. And the teacher's just like, okay, yeah, if I can just see, like, I'll just wait after school. Let me see a demonstration, in front of the doctors, and they'll change the paperwork for you. And Deku's like, all right, bet. And Deku did actually learn how to use some of his lightning without having to, have Zeus for help with Poseidon. Because Poseidon is a really good teacher. In case y'all didn't know that. Like, Poseidon, in this, he is a really good teacher. And, during those 6 months, Poseidon and Anko, they started dating. Like, they're actually dating. And, it's 6 months, and Poseidon, he's really liking Anko a lot. And Zeus, he sees everything down there. Like, he's just mad stalking. And he's just like, he done stole my girl, who is my son's mother, and he's my son's best friend. If this keeps up, he's going to be my son's stepdad and his uncle. The fuck? And, so Deku, class is dismissed. Deku stays behind. He goes out to the field. And, he shows off his lightning powers, what he can do. Which basically, he can form a lightning bolt in his hand, and he just throws it to the ground. It creates a huge-ass crater. And, after that, he shows off his super strength by lifting the principal's car. And, they're like, okay, yeah, we'll change it. So they changed the paperwork, and Deku, he's good. He's good now. And so he heads home, and, the sludge villain attempts to take over Deku's body. And Zeus ain't having that. So Zeus is pissed that someone would attempt to strike his son from behind and try to take over his body and use that godly power for their own purposes. Zeus is pissed, so he's just throwing lightning bolt after lightning bolt after lightning bolt. He is obliterating the sludge monster. Like, I'm gonna say, even after Deku's free, Zeus is just raining down lightning like there is no tomorrow. And he kills the sludge monster. Like, Sludge Dude is dead. Like, R.I.P. Rip. Zeus killed that motherfucker. All Might gets there, and, he's just like, man, the lightning storm was crazy. And he just sees Deku passed out. He wakes up Deku, and he's just like, young man, are you all right? And Deku's like, yeah, something just jumped out behind me. And, All Might, he's looking, he sees, like, the remains of the sludge monster just splattered everywhere. And, just smoke coming off of it. He's like, "Did you do this?" Deku's like, "I don't think so. Like, you tell me. I blacked out." And All Might's just like, "Well, he's dead. I'm gonna need you to come down and answer some questions at the police station, Deku's like, "Look, why are you acting like I'm a murderer? I haven't killed nobody. I'm the victim here." And All Might's just like, all right. Just go on home, kid. And Deku, he's just like, what the fuck is wrong? So much for heroes. Like, as soon as, instead of trying to see if you're all right as a victim, like, he's just, assuming I was a murderer? Hell no. And Zeus was about to get ready to strike All Might for, crossing his son, but Zeus is just like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Ain't getting my own son in more trouble." So, Zeus stays his hand for now. But, each day, as more people forget about Zeus, like, he grows a lot weaker. He does grow weaker and weaker. And Zeus's time left on the earth is about done. Like, it's almost up. Like, the only reason why Poseidon's still going good is because, like, he's literally in a relationship. Like, she ain't forgetting him anytime soon. But Zeus, like, he, I'm gonna say, he is injured from a war with, some of, the other Greek pantheons, and it did cut Zeus's lifespan severely down, dwindling it. Like, the only Greek gods that really remain is Zeus, Poseidon, I'm gonna say Athena, Aphrodite, and Apollo. That's pretty much it. Those are the only Greek gods that really are left. And Zeus's time is almost up because people forgetting him so much, and just like, he's wounded. Like, his lifespan's been cut drastically in half thanks to Hades. Thanks to Hades and Thanatos, Zeus's lifespan isn't that long anymore. And he knows that, but he's not going to be telling his son. And in a way, he's very thankful that Poseidon is building a relationship with his son to look after him when Zeus is gone. Every time Zeus uses his power, he cuts his own lifespan down even more. So Zeus is not getting, up there a whole lot. But, Deku gets home and, he packs his bag. He's like, all right, ready up. And Poseidon, he's just like, all right. He tells Uncle, he'll be back in 10 months with Deku. And she's like, okay, be safe. Because Uncle, she still got to go to work. And so Deku and Poseidon, they get ready to head off to Olympus. And that's actually where I'm going to leave it off for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.